Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Transformers Legacy Deluxe Class Minerva figure. So what we're going to do with this video, we're going to unbox her live in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. We're then going to have a detailed look at her in both of her modes to help you decide how you want to display her. We're going to do some comparisons with her and her original Generation 1 self. Unfortunately, I don't have Elita 1, which is of course the other figure that shared this particular mould. However, we can do some other comparisons and see how she displays with some other figures in the same toy lines. So, before we get started, I need to thank In Demand Toys because that's who I purchased this from. And as you can see, they got it out to me nice and safely. Now, before we open it up as well, I want to take a few seconds just to look at, once again, the beautiful box art that we've got going on in these legacy boxes. There is the alternate mode of her. You can see there again, Autobot Minerva. We've got a, I suppose, close-up there of the bust of her. And there is the full-length robot mode. Now, as I've said, I don't actually own Elita 1, so this is going to be my first time and first experience of this mould. So I'm looking forward to having a look at her and seeing what she looks like. It doesn't look like it's going to be too difficult. It's only 14 steps for a transformation. And this, of course, is the legacy artwork that we're already becoming very accustomed to. Pretty much wave one all there. All right, what I'm going to do then, I'm going to open her up from the bottom. Purely because I think it's a little bit easier than negotiating the top. You can already see that it's a windowless box, and it looks quite compact, to be fair. Some of the boxes now have huge gaps on the top. That's not to say that she hasn't got a huge gap at the bottom. Again, I don't really know. Let's have a look, because that's not too bad, actually. That's not too bad at all. Just a little bit off the bottom there, so we've got her in robot there. This is, of course, going to be her accessories. We've got her instructions. So what I'm going to do now then is set her free and come back with some first impressions. Okay, so as you can see, we've set her free, and the accessories that come all wrapped up. We've got a black blaster like so with a translucent handle. We've then got a translucent larger blaster. It looks like you can combine these. And then, of course, we've got the lights for obviously the top of the alternate mode. Figure itself looks really good, to be honest. There's a lovely detail there on her head sculpt. That really is quite detailed. Obviously got the eyes, nose, mouth, chin, everything's there. Little guns at the top. The head does twist all the way around on a ball, and it does look up and down as well. Now, for those of you who are unaware, this is perhaps me just being extra picky. I'm a little bit disappointed that she's not a headmaster in the Japanese continuity of figures, and indeed in a cartoon she was a junior headmaster, but this is obviously just a normal figure. We've got shoulder articulation, bicep flexion, wrist, wrist swivel. We've got waist swivel, hips. Oh, it's connected still. There we go. I say this is fresh out of the box. Out to the sides, front knees, knee tilt, ankle tilt, rock. Pretty much, again, everything you would expect from a brand new figure. Now, looks okay. Maybe a couple of teeny gaps there, but I'm not sure if this is fully transformed correctly into robot. Again, it's just taken out of the package. So what we need to do now then is we need to have a quick look at her in her alternate mode and see how she displays like that. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, she's in an alternate mode already. Quick apologies for no transformation process on this video. This is for a couple of reasons. One, to keep the main length of the video down, and two, not to spoil it for anybody who wants to experience that first transformation process for themselves. However, it will be uploaded in a separate video. If you want to watch it afterwards, you are obviously free to do so. Now, in all honesty with this, I suppose, and I hate to say this, I'm a bit disappointed. I had such high hopes for this figure and this character, and whether or not it's because I haven't seen or experienced Elita 1 yet, I don't really know. I mean, the only thing that I think that I can use the word to describe this figure would just be rushed. It just doesn't seem or feel right. I mean, I've had a couple of goes at transforming it 2 or 3 times, getting it back, yet there's still a couple of gaps here and there. What I also mean, and found out on the instructions, that on the back here as well, it's still got pictures of, that's clearly Elita 1, of course, because that's her head. So I just get this sense or this feeling that they've just cobbled it together really fast and rushed out a figure, and I don't know for what reason. It just, and if you look underneath, I mean, again, that's just a robot, isn't it? Just with a bit of, I suppose, kibble on the top of it. I'm sound like I'm probably being a bit too harsh. Maybe my expectations for this were too high. I don't really know. The translucent blue is lovely. The Autobot logo is lovely. The wheels, they're okay. They serve their purpose. I even tried, if I could, turning the head sculpt around so it wasn't obviously visible head, but it just doesn't seem to fit properly either. So you can pretty much make it out, even though I've not done the transformation. It will be in a separate video. You know, there's the arms, there's the head, there's the legs. I don't know, maybe you can probably tell that I'm a bit disappointed with it. Maybe it's because I just love the Japanese figures so much, and I don't think they've probably done this one justice at all. So we've got the light, which is of course going to go on the top there, and then we've got, that makes it look a little better. Then we've got the two weapons, and of course there's loads of choices for where you want to locate this. So we've got, you can either put them on the sides like this with them sticking out. You can see these are the feet as well, and these are quite loose, which looks reasonable. You could of course turn them that way as well, because they've got the 5mm pegs on the sides as well. Has this one got one? No, this one's where you combine, so you can pop that at the front, or you can pop it there like so. And then of course, as I've just said, you can take this off and you can combine these as well, however you choose. Still marginally better, but again, and I thought maybe I'm being too picky, but obviously with a lot of these figures, these are supposed to be great homages to G1, and this is nothing like G1. It is clearly just a redeco, and I don't even know if it's a retool. I imagine it must be a slight retool of Elita 1. Again, I can't say I've not seen it, don't have it, but as you can see, it's just not. Yeah, it's not at all. It's completely different, and I know we're trying to move with the times and make things better, and you know, this is probably the first figure that I've been, like, I suppose, negative about, because I love everything they're doing so far. Blitzing was amazing. I even love the shattered glass, even though they're just redecos. With this one, she's just not really floating my boat at the moment. So yeah, sorry, it's a bit of a damning, I suppose, review on the alternate mode. The good thing is, I suppose, at least I do display pretty much all of my figures in the robot mode. So we're going to go back for the final time for some comparisons and to see how she looks with her accessories in robot mode. Okay, then we're back for the final time with her in a robot mode, and yes, this is definitely the way that I'm going to choose to be displaying her. As I say, a little disappointed with the alternate mode. It's such a shame, because as I pointed out on my first impressions, the head sculpt on this is beautiful. It's lovely. Yes, everything's all attached. As I say, it's not got the headmaster gimmick, but the robot mode, it's not too bad. It could be better. I see what they're trying to do with these parts here, and what I mean by that is, if we bring in the G1 version quickly again, we've got these, well, I suppose they're the shoulder bits that are raised up like that. For those of you unaware, please ignore this here. This is just the reading from a headmaster, which of course she is not, and this is missing the flap there, so please just ignore that for a second. But I suppose, as I say, with these arms up, you can have a good homage. If you don't like that, or you're not particularly fussed, it's easily to rectify. You can lift this up, take hold of the silver parts, fold them back down, near enough line them up, to be honest. You can if you want, and then you can bring the whole back kibble over like so, and they're not there anymore, which doesn't look too bad. And I suppose, unless you do like the G1 figure, or maybe know much about the Master Force cartoon, I suppose most people would display like this, because the back kibble isn't too much, but then it literally, as you can tell, fold this bit over and fold that bit over. So yeah, but for me, I'm going to bring this back around, because it is one of the actual features that I think does look good with this particular figure, just to give it that little bit of an extra go. Right, let's bring this up and put it back down. Now, with regards to the weapons, again, of course, they're 5mm ports. You can attach battle masters, fossilizers, everything to it if you want. You don't even have to put them in the hands. You can, of course, because there's just an abundance of ports, you can put them either side, a little bit like rocket launchers, which doesn't look too bad. So let's just move her out of the way for now. You can, of course, do exactly the same on the legs. You could even, of course, especially with this one, because it's got that additional 5mm part, you could put it a different way around, where it's just attaching there. You could, of course, combine them together, but I think the way that I'm going to be displaying, and I imagine most other people will be, is just one gun in each hand, like so. There we go. So let's just see how I suppose she looks. Oh, that's a bit better. And compares. That's better. That's clicked her all the way down, but then that's just lifted that there. That's what I'm going to be displaying her. And let's see if she looks and compares with some other figures in similar and the same-ish toy lines. So there, of course, is Override. We've got the two ladies together. Override's obviously quite a bit bigger, but with regards to Hound, who was one of the smaller toys from the previous toy line, of course, she's a little bit smaller than him, which is quite strange. So with regards to, and these are the only ones I've got to hand, unfortunately, at the moment, because of the videos I'm doing. So with regards to another Voyager class figure, again, a lot smaller, and indeed a lot smaller than this particular leader class figure that I've got here as well. However, she's not as small as some of the deluxe figures, which you can see there. So that means obviously she's quite a bit bigger than the core classes. She just looks, as I say, she feels it as well. As I say, that's what I was trying to sort of say at the beginning. Like, I use the word rushed, but she just feels flimsy. For instance, I know there's a huge price difference in these when I say this, but even this guy feels, you know, weighty, robust. And I suppose it's because I've just done the review of Legacy Blitzwing, and he just feels, he's a completely different figure. This feels, as I say, quite loose, quite hollow, very light, and again, it's a shame. It is a shame. I suppose the other thing is that it's massively sought after. She's really hard to get hold of. Luckily enough, in the UK, In Demand Toys, as I said at the beginning, have managed to stock these for us, so we were able to order these, only one per customer, which was brilliant, because of course it stops the scalpers as well. But there's nothing else I think I need to say about her. I suppose, in fact I don't suppose, they could have done quite a bit better, in all honesty, and I'm hoping that they will take maybe a little bit more time if they're going to continue making the Japanese figures. We know obviously we're going to get the HasLab project, which is going to be fantastic, but they definitely need to spend perhaps just a little bit more time and effort on these. Anyway, this is my thoughts on Minerva. Let me know what you think, and of course, take care. Thanks for watching. Like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe.